The crowd is going wild, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, fun to be back live. So happy to be here. I hope you're here too. We see that there are people starting to activate out there on our different channels. And so we just want to remind you that we're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and I think that's it. So yeah, we're broadcasting simultaneously. And this is our last Live It Out live stream. So, hey, we returned from New Zealand and we're getting back into the swing of things on the home front. And Jennifer and I are going to be sharing with you a little bit about what's next on the adventure. But it's going to be fun. So, welcome. We want to encourage you to let us know where you are coming from. Please let us give us a little drop in the message and remind you. We see you popping in there, people. We see you coming, so thank you. Oh yeah, okay, we got family. I love when I see family because love and family. Aunt Mary, so great, and I love it. It's not just thanks. Mary Hamilton, it's Aunt Mary, and you both look great. Well, thank you. This is my kiwi shirt and my shortened haircut.
Thank you, Sully Love.
Yes, amazing.
For sprucing up a couple of old folks.
Yeah, and I think they've hopped on before, but I don't know. They're working right now. It's a tough time for our New Zealand family and friends. But yes, hey, and my mom-in-law is here too, so very cool. She must have come from YouTube because no picture on there for her. All right, well, listen, let's get going. So, Jennifer, lead us out a little bit.
All right. Well, as many of you know, our live stream has been a place that we've come together to talk about everyday life as a Christian. And over the past 7 months, it's been 7 months already.
I know, it's hard to believe.
We've covered topics ranging from servanthood to parenting and marriage. We've talked about the Sabbath and your need for rest. We've just covered so many topics. We've met a number of ministry guests that are helping others find rest and healing. Mm-hmm. And it's been a fun adventure for sure. And so we are so glad that you have been along with us on this journey, and we have learned a lot together. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as John and I have. Sure. It's really been fun.
Yeah, and as we enter into the new year, Jennifer and I have had to take a deep dive into our strategic planning for 2023. There are so many moving parts, and we had to do a little pruning of things in order that there'd be growth in the other areas that we need to flourish. Yeah. And so we're going to talk about those a little bit tonight. We're going to answer any questions that are out there that folks have. If you're just swinging by and seeing things live, we see different people popping up. And again, remind you, we can see that there's people out there, but we can't see who you are unless you comment.
Let us know who's there.
Yeah, send us a little message.
It's your last chance.
Yeah, and we're going to be short tonight. It's not going to be, as long as we normally do. We usually go a whole hour. I don't think we'll be on a whole hour tonight. But, hey, if you're just swinging by and catching us on YouTube or Facebook, hang out for a minute and drop us a little note. Let us know you're there. This is our last live stream. Not our last live stream ever, but the last Live It Out live stream every Thursday night, 6 to 7. We are not going to be doing that any longer. So, stop on. Make sure to send those comments. We love to hear from you. And if you have questions along the way, put them up there. It'd be great.
So in a moment, John's going to share with you, as he said, the whys and what's next. But before he does that, because, once he gets going, I'll be quiet for a while. But
what? No way. I'll ask you questions.
Truth be told. But I wanted to share a couple thoughts that I had. And first of all, I just want to say thank you. Thanks for listening and sharing this live stream with others. I know it's been a little crazy as we were learning the technology. Sometimes our media wasn't always working properly, but cheers to those who stuck it out with us. And honestly, it's been so fun interacting with you through your comments these past month. It really energizes us. When it's all working right, it's been so much fun. Also, during this season, several of you stepped up and became first-time financial partners with us.
That's cool.
And we were super thrilled with that. That is always encouraging to us. So thank you to all who have chosen to take that step and encourage us more deeply with our mission, with your finances. It really makes a big difference for us. And then lastly, I want to encourage you, as John mentioned, to use this hour to send your thoughts and your questions. So this hour's for you to get your questions answered and gain a little good understanding of where Eternal Impact's vision is now, because it's pivoted, it's changed. And we want you to know how it's going to affect you and how it's going to affect us in the days ahead. So use those comments and ask your questions so we can get it all cleared up for you so you know where we're headed.
Yeah, it's good. Thanks, son. Yeah, and ditto to all that, man. You and I are together, simpatico on that. And yeah, I see some other people coming on, and again, throw those questions. Oh yeah, I see a comment. Love that shirt, John. Thank you. Thank you. This is very Kiwiana.
Little souvenir from New Zealand.
This is from Canterbury. What I would say, Canterbury is an American, but we've been reminded it's Canterbury. When your accent, it's like a can of brie. Canterbury. But that's an area as well as a sports team and a clothing line in there. So yeah, this is my one souvenir from from New Zealand.
By the way, our time in New Zealand was amazing.
It was amazing. It really was.
We really did enjoy connecting.
Mm-hmm. And it was fun to connect with many of you when you dropped in to the 2 shows we did from New Zealand.
That was really fun.
Yeah, and man, really enjoyed the Christmas time too, just being able to have family on there, and that was cool.
And a summer Christmas.
Yeah.
That was different.
That was different. First summer with sunglasses. That was
and a sunburn.
Yeah, in December. That was good. I didn't get sunburned though, so that was good. Well, listen, we want to talk a little bit about, our new direction, the adventures that are ahead of us. And again, we've already talked why we're kind of having to prune and trim down. We're realizing, first of all, that we've got to really focus on this coming year. What God's got before us is pretty big. And we'll talk a little bit about those things, especially if you have questions that you throw our direction. We'll answer those. But really, we don't want to say what we already have put out, like on a website. You can go to the website, eternalimpact.org. You can get the letter that we sent out in December, the kind of end of the year letter. Plus we put our Christmas letter out. It's all over. It's on social media. It's on the website.
Basically, if you want to know something, you should be able to find that information all over the place.
Yes. And as we've been meeting with our patrons, those that are practically and financially involved in Eternal Impact and supporting the work, they're just kind of communicating to us as we did reviews last year. It's like, hey, we've got so much communicating, like we're over communicating. We don't even need to tell them. It's like, we know what you're doing for sure. And we're behind you, and we want to go forward. And so that's been super encouraging. And so we're trying to utilize our time this coming year to not be doing as much print media. We'll still do stuff through the web. We're going to do shorter videos that are going to be starting to come out probably end of the spring, summer. We've got a move coming up and some things like that we'll talk about. But we just looked at our year and really we're asking the Lord, how are we going to do this? I mean,
it's a big year.
Yeah, how are we going to do the year? And just as let me do 2 things. Let me give you just a little outline of kind of what it is. We were coming back from New Zealand. This is back October when we were kind of evaluating, our year, what it was going to look like. So we were pressing through to get to New Zealand to spend time with Leslie and Sully, our kids. For those that don't know, that's our daughter and son-in-law. And then coming back from that, we were prepared and ready for weddings that we had scheduled to perform. We had potential news that our son was going to get engaged, and sure enough, he did get engaged, and he's going to be married in September. Fun to have Jordan, welcome her into our family officially. So anyway, just all these things, grandchild coming, our 4th of July business that happens for 2 weeks during the 4th of July that we got to, focus on. There's just things like that we're like, wow. And we're supposed to move in May. I'm supposed to be down scouting. We're home in March. We're home 3 days. I'm home 3 days. You're home a little more than that, but I'm traveling. And so I'm home 3 days. In those 3 days that I'm home in March, I have a wedding rehearsal, dinner and rehearsal to do, and a wedding on one of those days. And so those are 2 days full already. So it was just getting crazy. We just had to evaluate it and realize that there was so much happening. And then we were realizing the personal bandwidth that it takes to do a live stream, to get everything set up, to, be mobile, all of that preparing, getting guests, all of those kind of things. It was awesome. I mean, we learned so much, and we've had so much fun. And for those that don't know, that maybe are just hopping on and don't know this, we've been doing, this is our 31st episode. So it's been 7 months since we've been doing this live stream, and we've almost went every week. It was only a couple times we missed. And then this last, when we were in New Zealand, we took 3 weeks off, holidays and all that. But I mean, that's a lot. And it has been super fun, like I said, and we've learned just a ton. What have you, by the way, learned most of all? What do you think?
I've learned it's really fun working with you.
All right, that's good news.
I mean, we've been working together. We've been together forever. Yeah. But in diving,
you have to say it like that. Forever.
It feels like.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, since middle school. That goes back.
Well, we've only been really early, late middle school.
It's been a long time. But this was a project that we dove into together, and. It's been fun. Yeah. I've enjoyed sharing this with you.
Yeah. And I've learned that too. And it is kind of a cool thing that we've been together. Let's be serious. I mean, just so you know, this July is our 36th anniversary of our first kiss.
Nice.
Whoa. And so that's a long time ago. And I got my mother-in-law's on here tonight too. Maybe my father-in-law is too. They're probably going, oh yeah, it was a really long time ago. Seems like forever. But no, but it's been great. And we've liked working together, but in this season of our life, empty nesters and just getting ready for this next season of ministry, it has been super fun working more intimately together. And of course, living in a fifth wheel makes you intimately work together more than
we've had a lot of togetherness in the last 7 months.
I'm just so glad she likes working with me still.
I do.
Yeah.
And I've also learned that these are a lot of work.
Yeah, they're a lot of work.
To just to get the word out to everybody and be prepared and have things ready. It's fun, but it is a lot of responsibility.
Yeah. And we'll still do more. Like, we'll probably start coming out with a podcast, but like a monthly or a live stream, maybe a live stream. We're not sure. We'll do some live streams because people like the interaction. But just so you know, it's not going to be every week. We just know in this next 2 years with what we're doing, it ain't going to be every 2 weeks. So anyway, okay, I want to dive into a couple how-tos. We got questions, we got comments. I will try and answer the questions as I'm sharing about what we're doing. And then also, I can't get to all these comments. Let's see. All about the shirt here. What's going on? Thank you. John, I too like the shirt. Ooh, okay. All right. She says, I like the shirt. All right. Hey, let's bring it up. Let's bring up the comment. I'm reading as we go. Like the shirt. Thank you, Mary Hamilton.
You're so cool.
And for following all that God has put before you. We look forward to all that God has in store for you in this next season. Boy, us too, we're excited. Yeah. And it's hard to believe, Ben, 31 episodes. Eesh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
We still feel like we don't know what we're doing most of the time.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so someone is covering their eyes.
Yeah, I'm not really
Rebecca
sure
Virtue. I don't know what that means.
Covering
but
eyes.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
I think that she just means, just means that the colors in this are so brighting that she must avert her eyes to see this. Anyway, well, listen, let me talk just a little bit about the details of just kind of a thought process, because really this Live It Out broadcast, Live It Out live stream, is really about living out the gospel. Okay, about practically, and all the things we talked about, as you mentioned already, Jennifer, are about how do we practically live out the gospel. And we really had to press into the Lord and just say, Lord, how do you want us to do this? This is big. We feel like he's been leading us to prepare our house, get our house in order. We rented it out. We've got the fifth wheel. We've done everything we know how to do to be faithful We tried to get our ministry house in order, shifting staff, doing everything that we need to do, launching ministries. And it's taken longer than we thought, but it's been good.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really crazy is we've had fun. Even in the midst of the craziness, it's been fun.
Oh, yeah.
Not just the live stream, but just everything we've been doing. But the other thing is that we really feel like God is calling us to provide an oasis for leaders. We just do. Bottom line is we have done some deep dives over this last couple of years, meeting and asking the question, what do leaders need? Do they need another book? Do they need another podcast? Do they need more information? Do they need 7 irrefutable laws to figure out how to rest? Do they need, whatever? And the truth is, they really didn't need that. It's not that there aren't great books coming out and great material, because
There's enough of that.
I'm
out
reading
there, huh?
a lot of
Yeah.
it. It's excellent stuff.
Yeah.
But there is so much in this day and age.
Yeah.
So much data, so much material, so many books, so much insight, so many teachings, so many seminars, so much. And what we found like they needed us. They needed our availability. They need us to be able to either spend some extended time with them, to listen to them, to demonstrate God's love to them, to help give them coaching and direction and serve them.
A listening ear.
Yeah. And so if that's what we're called to do, then we need to posture ourselves to best do that.
Mm-hmm.
And at this season of our life, we feel like the best way, and this has been something the Lord has really put on our heart for years, is to get a home that is in a destination location. We have chosen that right now. We've spent a year and a half all over the nation looking. Right. We went even to Hawaii, all over looking at different possibilities of destination locations. I'm not going to get into all those details now because, maybe it'll bore you. If you're interested, you have questions about where or different places and why, you can just throw that question up. That's fine. And so, yeah, but here's the deal. We've landed on Central Oregon.
Yay.
Now, people say Central Oregon, where? What does that mean? What does that mean? What do we use for corridor bearings there,
We're
honey?
kind of looking from that Sun River to Black Butte.
Yeah, in that corridor. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that
kind
space.
of avoiding Bend. It's a little too much city, but the outskirts in that area from Sun River to Black Butte. So if you're familiar with that area.
Yeah, and if you're
know what
not,
I'm
Google it
talking
and plan to come visit us. So let me give one little plug, an shameless plug for an opportunity. So now listen, if you're in leadership of a church or if you're a pastor of a church, I want you to listen to this. Actually, you don't even have to be in leadership. If you love a pastor in your life, if you love a Christian leader in your life, I want you to listen to this. There's an opportunity and another one just came up because we had our March retreat was booked. And we got a call day before yesterday, that one of the pastors that was coming, they were coming from Georgia, I think, they got in an car accident. They're okay. They're going to be okay, but they're going to be, and I understand this, in a couple months of therapy, physical therapy, trying to recuperate and unable to get here for the retreat. So when I say here, it's Careth Springs is our partner. We love them. We're so grateful for them. They do have some limitations that they've put on the retreats as we partner and host for them, which are fine. One of those is that it's from Monday to Friday. So we host and do a retreat Monday to Friday. Now, other retreats we've done and that we prefer a little longer, but that's okay. This is a beautiful place and a beautiful opportunity. They are so generous that they cover and partner with Eternal Impact to cover all the breakfasts and all the lodging on a beautiful 200-acre ranch. You can walk for hours and never leave the property.
Yeah,
or
that's beautiful.
Yeah, or you can go to, just Google Sisters Oregon and Central Oregon.
There's plenty to do,
Oh, yeah.
and there's nothing to do if you prefer to just read a book in a beautiful lodge or by the lake. They have a lake on their property. It's a great place to get rest, and the only expense to you is traveling there and
your dinners,
eating out, or you're still welcome to cook at the lodge too if you don't want. So it's very easy on your budget.
Yeah, it's just such a gift. Now, the other limitation they give right now, because of the demand, that they've limited it, their board has limited it to senior pastors. Now, there are some exceptions that they've made, and especially for one coming up in March, because it's so quick and it's tough for a senior pastor to make that switch so quickly in March. So what are those dates? And do you have those dates down? Tell me what those are.
March 6th through 10.
Okay.
Now, these are dates that John and I will be hosting.
Yep.
There's other dates that are available at Carruth Springs, so the dates I'm giving you are the ones where John and I will be the host. Any of their hosts are wonderful, though, so I recommend just finding a slot that works for you, just so you can go. But our weeks are March 6th through 10. We have one opening available there. And July 17 through 21, we have two openings there. July 31st through August 4th has two openings.
So July and August have openings, and then March has an opening.
Correct.
So here's what I want you to do. Here's the challenge. And I really want you just to prayerfully think about this. If there's a leader you love and you know, now there may be some of this like, man, they've got every opportunity they need. They've got a great team. They've got access to homes of people in the church. They get away, they get ready. But I'm going to tell you something. Statistically, they don't. Statistically, if we're going to look across the board, leaders are not getting away, especially just to rest. They're taking all their vacation time to go recreate or to do something as a family or to, and that takes energy. We're going to go to Disneyland. We're going to go camping. We're going to go, whatever. Those are a different type of thing, important, and shouldn't be exchanged for what we're talking about. But what we ask leadership, like if they're an elder on an elder board or deacon board or church board, whatever model you have in your church, presbytery, whatever, we simply just ask you to send your leader. Just give them some money for some food and some travel, and just send them and let us love them. Let us listen to them. Let us serve them. And again, it's catered to what the person needs. And like Jennifer said, hey, we've had people that want to they'd like us to take on an excursion. They want us to go on a hike with them. So kind of like Jesus, paralytic teaching, you can be out and walk and talk and talk together when you're out. Some people want, extra time during breakfast or after breakfast to talk. Some just want, I just need quiet. I just have it, man. I just want to pray. I want to walk. I want to go take my wife to dinner.
I've been with people too much, and I just want to be alone.
Yes, absolutely. So I just want to encourage you. This is what you do. If you love someone that you think is in need of this, I'm making this super easy for you. And if every person that's listening today were to do this to one person, let alone 2 or 3 people, we'd be full, and probably the other spots, because there's a few other spots throughout the year that are open, even though we're not hosting. We would love to host. It would be our privilege to love your leaders. But here's the deal. You just have to go to the website. It is that simple. You just go to the website. We've given you the days. Now, I don't know if the website's updated with the days that are full yet. We might want to check that. But either way, have them go to the website, eternalimpact.org/retreats, or just go to eternalimpact.org and they can click retreats. It opens a page. It gives them the dates, a little form. All they have to do is fill out that form, say, here's the date I want to come. I'd like to be there. We will get back to them within 24 hours. It is that simple. It's that simple. So I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to give that gift to your pastor or your leader, to just send them a text, send them a phone call, send them an email, and just send them that link. www.eternalimpact.org /retreats if you want. Okay. So, enough of that. That's the plug. Shameless though. Because we know that we need to be making ourselves available. And that's where we're operating. A lot of our ministry is growing and taking place in that space. So I just want to encourage you, take out that opportunity and go with it. Okay. All right. Well, we're not going to be on here. Like I said, if you're just popping on, we're not planning. Usually we go till 7:00. We usually go all the way, for 1 hour. We don't have guests tonight. It's just us sharing about what's happening on our last Live It Out live stream. But I do want to remind you that if you do have questions or comments about anything, put them on there. If you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook or you're on Twitter, please just give your comment, your question, and we'll get to it here in the next few minutes, because we don't have a ton more content for you. We just want to share with you a little bit about what's happening and some areas you can pray for us and just join us in this crazy adventure as we're making the pivots. So I want to give you some key dates and some key issues. And then I'm going to ask you too, Jennifer, if there's other things that, in this process, that you're gleaning and that the Lord's speaking to you about. Mm-hmm. But let me just give you a little bit of I'll tell you what, there's a book that I've recently been introduced to called 8 Ways to Make Your Best Year Ever. And it's actually, that's the name of the podcast that was sent to me, which is good. But it's called 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. That's the book that they were reviewing. And I'm not going to give you, he kind of gives the podcaster 8 different ways that came from the book that Burkeman gave. I'm not going to go through all 8 of those, but there's a couple of them I want you to think about. And it's part of the processing we're in. I mean, these aren't the tipping point. We made our decision and we knew, but these were very insightful. And I read this a few days ago. And thanks, shout out to Dan. I don't know if Dan Davis is on here tonight, but thanks for sending me the podcast and the link to the article and to the podcast. It was great. So here it is. Accept the limitations. Number 1, he said, is accept the limitations of a lifespan that's way too short. It's okay to admit, you know what, this is a pretty short lifestyle or lifetime. I mean, it really is. And it's like, let me give an example. He talks about this. The 4,000 weeks comes from, if you live to 76.6, which I think is the average lifespan, and it's different for men and women and all that, but 76.6 years, okay, is the average American lifespan. So that's 4,000 weeks in a lifetime. That's how many weeks there are. Now, at my age, that means I only got about 1,200 weeks left. I mean, it's just what it is. It's about 1,200. And it could be, I could go tomorrow, right? I mean, we don't know. My dad's 88 though, and he's pretty unhealthy. Dad, I don't think you're listening. He doesn't know how to run the devices, so I'm sure he's not listening. But he's 88, and he's super unhealthy. So I told Jennifer, I'm on spec. You better love me because you're gonna have me for a while. But either way, my point is it's not like, oh man, I'm counting the days, but it's also okay to say, you know what? There's only so many things that you can do in the time that you've got. And why don't you focus and do the ones that you really feel God is dialing in your heart to do. So number 2 is don't expect greater productivity or efficiency to make the problem better. Now, I know this is kind of flies in the face of modern, business development and that, because it's always about, work smarter, not harder. That really came about in the 80s and was really kind of the call sign in corporate America over this last, probably about 30 years, really 30 to 40 years. But here's a reality that Berkman brings out that I think is important as well for us to remember. Productivity doesn't solve anything. I remember talking, so many times with guys over the years, oh man, this is what we're dealing with. We got this. I'm trying to balance priorities and all that as a parent and as a husband, and as a leader. And they're like, oh, well, you need to prioritize more. You need to get more organized. And I'm like, is that really what it is? I remember we've had this conversation. It's not always just I'm a pretty good organizer. I mean, especially for a sanguine, Enneagram 3, whatever, just a freak. I do pretty good at organizing and getting my schedule and that. But when you look at my calendar, it's like, whoa, it's a sea of activity, right? Yeah. Sea of activity.
For sure.
You cannot outperform, too much stuff on your plate.
You just can't pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
Yeah, you just can't.
Make it work.
And
Force it in.
Yes, we work smarter. Yes, we want to be organized. Yes, we want to be efficient. We want to have good productivity. But the reality that he brings out, and I think it's an important one, is that no, you can't. Some of our pain isn't because we're just not organized enough. No, there's just a lack of resources, and sometimes time is one of those resources. Only 24 hours in the day. Oh, I'll only sleep 2 hours a day. Not going to work. So anyway, just a couple more. They're not in any order. His is number 5. I don't know what number I'm on for these, just a couple of them. Practice gratitude. It's the antidote for discontent. Man, I amen that.
That's so true.
It is so true, isn't it?
It is true.
And we're content.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, it's like we've been talking about the idea of, wow, we're living in a trailer. We don't know what's going on. We don't have the resources we need. It's like, what should we be doing? But we've been reflecting, and this is maybe a time where we can just pause. And I've seen a lot of people sending stuff through the threads. So when you're sharing, I might read through and see some of these. But I just really feel like the Lord is dialing us in right now, just dialing us in. And I won't say anything more on that, but there's a contentment that's there, and it's like, oh, I know what I was going to say. I kind of lost my thought. You and I were talking a couple of days ago about just how even in the midst of all this, we look back on our lifetime of 33 years of marriage. And is it 33, 32, 30?
32, almost 33.
32. No, almost 32.
Okay.
Yeah. Almost 32 in a couple months. But anyway, you and I have just been experienced God's grace and provision in so many ways.
Yeah.
And we even look at our life now. It's like, oh yeah, we don't have the financial resources that a lot of our peers have or whatever during this season of life. But man, there's contentment.
Yeah, we were talking about how rich we feel in so many other areas that are not monetary or possessions necessarily. Granted, we are incredibly blessed that way as well. The Lord has been very good to us, but we feel so rich in relationships, rich in our walk with the Lord, rich in a sense of what's the word I'm looking for? Purpose. We have a purpose. We have a direction that we're feeling called and head. And it's not perfect, and there are days when I question, for sure. I've definitely questioned, did we really hear from God, or was that something I made up in my mind, and now I'm on this rabbit trail that I'm not supposed to be on? I mean, you do it too. You question as well, I'm sure.
They're very spiritual audience, honey. They don't question
God. If you figured out how not to question, we're going to have you as a guest on our next live stream sometime, so you can tell us all how to do that.
Matter of fact, I think people are starting to get off right now. Once you said they
like,
question, they're like, boom, boom, we're gone. We're out of here.
But through it all, the Lord, he continues to take us through those ups and downs, and we always seem to find that peace again. We always find our stride again. We have to revisit that vision, and all of a sudden we're excited all over again. Oh yeah, the Lord has called us to do this new adventure, and it's really weird, and I'm living in a fifth wheel, and I'm looking at my house just across, and it's full of guys now, and what is this all about? But in all of it, we're learning to trust. And really, when I reflect over all of our ministry together over all these years, it's just been a long journey of learning to walk by faith. And sometimes it's easy, and sometimes it's taken more faith than others. And there's been a few times when I've fallen flat on my face too, because I overstepped. But God picks you up, and He brushes you off, and He sends you on your way again. And here we go. We're on a new adventure. I hope not to fall on my face, but I know that if He's there, He'll pick me up.
Yeah.
I know He's there, and He will pick me up. Is what I mean to say.
Yeah, He will. And so all that to say, okay, by the way, I'm going through the thread, very kind words being said, YouTube, Facebook. Thank you. That's very kind. I'm not going to pull them all up. It seems self-serving when you're just so kind and saying nice things. But yes, it is good that we're, thank you. That's all to say. Thank you on those. I do see one from my sister, which cracks me up. It's like, oh yeah, right in the middle of live stream. Oh yeah, by the way, what's your calendar? Can you come to Justin's high school graduation party on June 3rd? Well, I'll get back to you. I'll circle back to you on that one.
About the calendar.
About the calendar, it's nasty. But it would be our privilege to be able to celebrate Justin. So we will find a way to do that. And if it can be June 3rd, that would be amazing.
June 5th.
Third. Yeah, I was right. Okay.
Yay, Justin.
Well, yeah, congratulations. That's exciting. Okay. So lastly, I just want to say the last thing. He gave a bunch of things. We've been veering off a little bit here, but we've been talking just about this book a little bit by Oliver Berkman. Berkman, Burkeman, for those that need to know that. It's called 4,000 Weeks. If you Google it, you'll see it. He's not a follower of Jesus. Matter of fact, I think that's one of the limitations I see in, obviously, limitation. He sees a little bit of futility and doesn't have, in a sense of an eternal perspective. You know, he doesn't have a very strong eternal perspective that's God honoring. But the wisdom that he gives in Sarah doesn't mean that I throw all those out. There are things that are aligned with more of the Ecclesiastes sections of Scripture.
I was gonna say, it sounds like Ecclesiastes.
Yes, very much.
Everything is meaningless.
Yeah. But anyway, so last one that he mentions, and this is pretty normal stuff, and that is get your highest priority first. You know, sometimes it's almost like email. You know, when you're in your email and it's like you got so many emails, and there's like a dozen of them that you know are going to take time to get to. I mean, that you got to do, but there's like 40 of them that are like, oh yeah, I can quick do it. And I have that tendency sometimes where well, I'm just going to knock out all these easy ones and just get them, because it's like, man, I just going to get them quick, do them, or delete, and get those. But the problem is, I sometimes that ends up consuming me, right? So it takes the time, like, oh man, now I don't have time to do the really important ones. Yeah. And then I give short change to the ones that really needed more attention. It's that kind of way in life as well. And that's why this is our last Live It Out live stream tonight, is because we are really committed. Jennifer and I are really committed to move, to head to Central Oregon. Our plan is May 1st to do that. In the meantime, we've got some traveling to do in the South. So shout out to any of our friends down in Georgia, Tennessee. We'll be down Florida. We'll
heading your way.
Yeah, be there in March. Plus we have a retreat we're doing in March, which I just mentioned, and some other travel. Plus between now and then, we are going to be down in Central Oregon quite a bit, scouting and getting ready.
Find a place to move to.
Yes, we really do. And so we've got a lot to be doing on that. We just don't know exactly where we're going to be yet, and the Lord's going to lead us in that. We're also going to be down, and I'm going to be in Orange County, although I'm only going to be there for a day in my day's book. So if you're in Orange County, I'm sorry. It's so full. I'm flying in, flying out. Going to be in Phoenix, meeting. And by the way, these are all meetings with patrons or future patrons and friends, that welcoming them into this next adventure. And we need those patrons that are going to come alongside and personally and financially invest in eternal impact.
Pray for favor over these trips as we're getting our message out.
Yep.
We need God's favor in that.
Yeah, thank you. That's good. So those are some of the areas. So we want to kind of move into that. We're talking about calendar and things to be joining with us in prayer as you're on this journey with us. And that's one of them, favor with meetings. I'd like you to pray, if you could, for our current patrons. Yeah. I mean, they are team members for us. I mean, we just, many of you, you're listening, you're patrons as a part of Eternal Impact. And so thank you for that. We're not very good at the, like when we did the live stream, sign up on our Patreon and we'll give you a special club and all that. We don't do that well, but we are gearing in. This is the year of the patrons and partners, just so that we can identify, okay, Lord, who do you want to bring? How do you want to do it? And who do you want to bring on the team in order to build this oasis for pastors and leaders? So
it's his vision. Yeah. So he's got the people there.
Very excited about that. Thinking of Val, that was just on here too, our vision is to be able to serve and care for all of those other Christian leaders that aren't necessarily pastors, senior pastors at a church. Now with Cara Springs, we're partnering, we're just welcoming senior pastors because of some limitations there. But there's a lot of other Christian leaders that are doing great work, whether they're chaplains, whether they're missionaries, whether they're pastors, whether they're evangelists. There's a lot of people doing great work, and all of them are in very similar need. And so anyway, those are some of the people that, as I'm seeing different people come on here, that I just happen to know what they're doing and what their occupations are. Right. So that's one area to pray, just for favor and for direction and discernment as we figure out where we're going to be moving down there, both temporary, because it's probably going to be temporary for a couple of years until we're able to figure out, okay, we're going to get property.
That's why we have the fifth wheel.
Yes. So so it's going to be temporary and snug.
It's a good thing that I like living in here. I actually like living in this fifth wheel.
Yeah,
it's been fun,
that is kind of a miracle.
Which is really weird.
I mean, you go from a 3,500 square foot house to this, and it's like, okay,
it's easy to clean.
And we don't need near as much stuff as we think we do.
No.
I can tell you that is a fact.
I'm learning to live simple.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, look through the thread too and see if there's anything other than just kindness coming through from people with good things. If there's anything that needs to be put up or questions, let me know for sure. Let me just give you a couple other prayer points. we would like you to pray for our granddaughter with us, Lily. She's our only granddaughter. We have another one in the oven right now.
Not us.
Well, we don't. Yeah, I mean, that would be a miracle. No, as grandparents. Alyssa has one in the oven. And so another grandchild coming in June, July, end of June, beginning of July. And
right during fireworks.
yeah, don't remind me. But yeah, if anyone wants to come and just love on us and just hang out and sell fireworks and meet people in the community, it's super fun. But yeah, we need some help.
We're gonna need help.
Yeah, come. But then Lily has been diagnosed. Our first grandchild has been diagnosed with MSA, and I'm sorry, SMA. Thank you. You can Google it. You can also go to lilyjanesma.com. That's Lily, 1L, Lily, Jane, Jane, SMA.com. And they've done a great job pulling a blog together, putting some links in there, explaining the situation. But in short, it's a genetic disorder that she's got that limits her body from making certain proteins that they're needed in our body to develop muscle structure. And so unfortunately, she's lost a lot of that and probably won't gain some of that back in her lower body. And we don't know what that's going to look like for her. We don't know if she'll be wheelchair bound the rest of her life. We don't know. We just don't know. But we also know we have a healing God. We know he's gracious and kind, and he can not only heal the body, but if he chooses to honor himself by not healing the body, he can give extra grace in other areas in order to strengthen us and to carry us through this time. And so we're praying for Alyssa and Daniel and for ourselves, just asking, well, how do we need to adjust to be more available to drive up from Central Oregon, things like that, and what that will look like, and, wheelchair ramps in our future home and things like that we'll just adjust to, anything for that little ray of sunshine. And
she is a little ray of sunshine.
Yeah. And no physical limitation is going to limit that reality. I'm sure of it. And so anyway, that's just an overview, but it's big for us right now, and added with everything in the schedule and all that we're processing. And so as we're loving you and you're loving us and we're together in the venture, those are just some things that you can be praying for us about. Wisdom and direction on moving, location, exactly where we'll be, provision through patrons and our partners. We just pray for them and pray for these new ones that we're meeting with. And if you have friends that need to hear about the vision of an oasis for leaders and where Eternal Impact is going in these years ahead, then let us know and we'll reach out and share the vision with them. We're happy to do that. And then for Lily, just praying for Lily. And our journey, loving her, and for Daniel and Alyssa. That'd be great. Anything else before we wrap up? I mean, we've kind of shared with everybody. Too. Yeah, I know.
Our son, as he gets ready to get married.
Sam, man.
My last one, our baby.
Yeah, it's so hard to believe that.
I know.
But it's true. They're so young. But, it's weird. He could literally, I mean, I'm not saying it is going to happen, but for those that don't know, he's preparing to be a police officer, law enforcement officer. I don't know if it'll be police or sheriff or whatever, but he literally could get sworn in like 2 days before their wedding. It's not likely, but it could happen, and then have police academy scheduled
so
after the honeymoon.
21, he's getting married, and he could be sworn in all within a week.
Yes. So crazy.
It's a crazy time for him.
Yeah. But you know what? It's exciting, and we're so proud of him and all of our kids, and not because of their perfection, but because of their beauty and their difference.
Fun to watch them growing up.
Yeah. And each one of them has their own journey, but all of them, I got to say, it warms, as a follower of Jesus, it warms my heart to see all of them aspiring towards Christ. And, that's a win. And so I'm just grateful. So we just pray that God will, that their sensitivity will continue to be towards the Holy Spirit. And for Jordan too, she is a gem. They've been dating for 3 years, and it's just going to be exciting to welcome her in full time as a daughter-in-law. And so Jordan, if you're out there tonight, hey, you're amazing and we love you. So, all right. Anything else that I'm thinking of before we do some final dad jokes for our last
dad
episode?
jokes. Yeah.
This has been very relaxed. We've just kind of been hanging out with people and talking. And again, thank you for your kind thing through YouTube and through Facebook. Some very nice comments, and we'll read and follow through with those after the show. We're trying to look through if there's any questions or anything that we need to answer. Can I say that?
Do you have any questions? Shoot them up there now.
Yep, because we're
still
almost
have about
a wrap.
3 or 4 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Before we dive into our dad jokes.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that your questions are answered.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, they could be anything.
Yeah.
And we're an open book. So feel free to ask whatever.
Yeah.
And if we don't like your question, we'll just ignore it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's how it works. Like, what question? I didn't see a question.
I didn't see questions.
All right. Anything else that you're thinking of, though, in case a question doesn't come up?
I guess for me personally, there's a lot of learning what to hold on to and what to let go of in all of this. And so just pray that I can hold things loosely in my hand and know that the Lord will provide in the future when the time is needed. Because as we move, we don't want to have to pay to put a lot of things into storage. So I'm literally having to walk through the house again. I've done this once, but I need to pare down even more. And, you know, I like my stuff. And so it's a little bit emotional parting with some of it. But again, it comes down to that trusting that the Lord will provide in the future. And I can let it go, and it can go to new homes. Yeah. So anyway, just that journey, all of that change. I'm a homebody, and I like to feel secure and safe. And so this one's stretching me a lot. Yeah. And leaving family, it's only 3 hours away, but leaving family is a really, really hard one for me, especially with Lily. Yeah. So, yeah, just prayers that peace will continue to rest over us as we close the chapter in Oregon City and open the new one in Central Oregon.
Yeah. And pray that, I don't know if your mom's on here still. I think she's on here. But pray for my in-laws that they'll want to move closer to Sisters than the beach, because we're going to really miss them. That's going to be a long ways away.
She was just in Bozeman and said she liked the snow.
I know.
She
what's
said
happening?
The snow
that might
wasn't
be a
too bad
miracle.
After all, so there's hope.
Okay, well, maybe she's not on here anymore, and we don't. But let's secretly pray for them. So yeah, we'd love them to be closer.
Come near us.
Yeah, at least closer. At least closer. All right. Well, there's one last announcement that I need to give you, and then we're gonna do some dad jokes and wrap it up for the night, for the whole time, forever, for all time.
Until next time.
Until next time. All right. So here's the announcement. I forgot, actually, for those that are in the Portland metro area, I will be teaching. I will be teaching
this Sunday,
preaching at Oregon City Christian Church. So I will post it on Facebook as well, probably tomorrow morning, to get it out so people know. But Oregon City Christian Church, it is live streamed as well on the Oregon City Christian Church Facebook page and their website. So yeah, I'd love to have you join digitally, but that's only if you don't have a place on a Sunday morning where you can come and participate. But man, if you are free Sunday morning and in the Portland metro, come join us. It would be great in Oregon City, and love to be able to see you face to face, give you a hug, as well as to preach the word and be the Holy Spirit's conduit for that morning. So it's going to be great. The beautiful people there. We've been there before. We love the pastor, Lauren. And so
they're partners with us.
Yeah, and they're partners. They're partners with Eternal Impact. We're very grateful to have them as partners. So anyway, all right. So that's the shout out. That's the last announcement that I had. Yeah. Last shameless plug. See you Sunday. And that'll be great. I see Mary said, move. I'm not, if she just meant like right now, like we just move.
No, we're on the move.
Supposed to be moving? Oh, move. Okay. Yes, we are moving. All right.
Moving.
Well, sweetheart, here it is. It's kind of bittersweet. It's not one of those things like, okay, how do you wrap? How do you just kind of do it? But I think the best way to do it is with some dad jokes, because that's how we always ended the live stream.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah,
so
we're early. We're early, but let's do it.
We got a couple.
So,
okay. So, well, John and I, as a New Year's resolution, we need to get back in shape, right? So we joined a gym. And so lately, I've been contemplating my future while I'm on the treadmill, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I realized then that I'm getting nowhere fast.
Okay, we gotta work on delivery. Delivery on that one. Delivery. Okay, what else? What else do you have? Yeah,
Okay.
I get it. Nowhere
So,
fast.
all right.
I get it. Treadmill.
What do
nowhere
you
fast. Okay.
What do you call a wizard that falls down the stairs? Tumbledore.
Okay.
That's for all you Harry Potter
Yeah,
fans
you'd have
out
to be a
there.
Harry Potter fan to know that one. So, okay.
Get it? Tumbledore.
Yeah, okay. I get it. Well, you're in charge of the laughter button tonight. I
Well,
can say.
somebody's got
Okay,
to
well, listen.
laugh.
Hey, I was trying to tell everyone about the benefits of eating dried grapes. It's all about raising awareness.
All right.
Wait a minute, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Raising awareness.
Raising awareness.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Easy on the sound effects. So, okay. Here's another good one. Do you know why you should knock on your refrigerator door before you open it?
No.
There might be salad dressing.
Ooh.
Okay, why? Hey, Annie, why did the cowboy get a Dachshund hound? How do you say that, by the way?
Dachshund hound.
How do you say
Where
that?
have you
What's
been?
that word?
Dash hound.
Dash hound. I can't remember. Dash hound.
A Dachshund
I can't
hound.
remember. Dash hound. Okay,
Okay,
let me start
that over.
We're starting over. I can't remember how to say
These
the
were unrehearsed.
the
Let me tell
dog's
you.
name. I can't remember. Okay. So Jennifer,
Yeah.
why did the cowboy get what's it called?
A dash hound.
I can't remember that.
Let me tell the
All
joke.
right.
Why did a
Hey,
cowboy
honey.
get a dash hound?
Oh, your delivery though. You gotta ask it again. Ask it again. Hey,
Oh my gosh.
do you know
Why-
this one?
Why did the cowboy get a dash hound?
Why?
Because he was told to get along, little doggy.
This is a pretty good one. It's a good one if I wouldn't have butchered how to say dash hound.
Dash hound.
Dash hound. Okay.
Okay, last one.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Okay. I got a good one.
These poor people. Okay.
Okay, this is a good one. And by the way, just real quick, yes, I see people saying goodbye and thank you and much love to you both and thank you. And then Cora is saying, let us know where you're going to be. On occasion, we will let you know, Cora, for sure. And you can always listen to the rest of this to know any more details, too, for Cora or anyone else. We actually have 5 times more people actually watch the restream of
Right.
this than are here live.
Right.
And
'cause
so
people are busy. They can't tune in live.
yeah, which is another reason
Catch.
why we've really found that we'd like to invest in media that people can watch all the time,
Yeah.
whereas we love the live stream interaction. That's the best. And we'll still do that.
it's-
But, it's tough, like one night a week during this time, and it pressures the schedule
Yeah.
hardcore. But anyway,
But you
so-
can catch the restream, Cora,
Yes.
and pick up the parts you missed.
yeah, Cora or anybody that's listen. All right, hey, last dad joke. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom?
Why?
Because the P is silent. You have to know. You have to know how to. You have to know. You have
First
to
time you
how to
told-
spell
yeah,
pterodactyl.
The first time you told this joke, I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't get it.
I know you got to.
So if you didn't
Pterodactyl
know,
is spelled PTERODACTYL. Y.
Well,
Wow. Okay, I thought I was
now we
bad.
sound like we're at a spelling bee.
That's all right. We got some groans. We got groans out there from people. Hey, good episode though. Yes, thanks, Ben. We're excited as well, and excited for you too, and all that God's got going on for you right now. Well, that is it. That is the Live It Out Livestream 31st episode, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the last time where you have to say our goodbye.
I know this is it. So we'll say this. Thanks for interacting with us live or listening on Restream. We created this venue to provide a practical and interactive way to help you and others live out the gospel.
If you love our show and you stand with our mission, please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, and consider giving a tax-deductible donation to Eternal Impact.
And for the final time, as the Live It Out live stream, to those that we love both live and listening on the restream, until we are back in another type of live stream or a podcast or whatever, or
we'll give
in
updates.
person, yes, we genuinely pray that the joy of life and the gift of His grace will be tangible in and through you as you live it out. We love you guys. Blessings
Thanks
to
for
you.
everything.
Bye-bye.